All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you to, I want to welcome you to Manufacturing 100 MATC orientation. I'm one of the instructors, Chris Boffman. The other one, Dan Holland, is not here with me today, but you'll be meeting him shortly. Doing this video in lieu of winter of 2017 here. We have had bad weather all week, so we're now the third day into the first week, and the college campuses have been shut down. I'm trying to get these videos out there to be a little more accommodating. So this is in lieu a little bit of the classroom time that we'd be spending together, okay? All right, so we're gonna walk through this. I'm gonna hit some highlighted points. You're gonna have to continue to read on your own. A few things we want to talk about as we're going through here. Number one, in this video we're going to talk about policies and procedures and what's kind of expected out of the MATC program. We do run a little bit different than your traditional college course. Naturally being a self-paced program, Monday through Thursday only. We're going to discuss things like that as we're going through this. Not really a PowerPoint, but through this document, okay? So you'll see me popping in and out of the camera as we're going along. Important notice, grading policy, safety instructions, standard operating procedures for the Manufacturing and Applied Technology Center. You can always find this on the student drive once you get in here. You'll always be able to look this up on Blackboard as well under Manufacturing 100. It will be in the content or syllabi area. Okay, this is our course pack or our study guide as we're going through this. Pay attention, take notes, ask questions. There will be a quiz later on. Again, my name's Chris Boffman, one of the instructors here. This gives you a quick, brief background on me. I grew up in Southwest Wyoming, new to the Central Oregon area. First time I went to college, I went for heating, air conditioning, and refrigeration out of a trade school out of Denver, Colorado, Westwood College of Technology. It was a good program, good school, really accelerated me. I've got my own thoughts and concerns on trade schools versus community college. If you, if you're here, then I'm already talking to you. We've already won half the battle of the community college phase, but I would like to, if you know anybody else that's in that struggle, do they go to a trade school, do they go to community college, or whatever, have them come talk to me. I've been a product of both. I've been to a trade school and then back to the community college. I will definitely speak loud and true about how great the community college system is. Especially for each region, each state, because the local industry, really can help drive these community colleges as well as national standards as well. But, say for example in Central Oregon, we're going to be looking for a few things quite a bit different than we would in Southwest Wyoming, where I was from, or a little bit different than we would have in Florida. And so that's the benefit of the community colleges. You can kind of do a little bit of a tailoring to some of the local industry in your area, which is a good benefit. Okay, in my opinion. Anyway, I did HVAC refrigeration, some industrial maintenance for several years. I went back to school at nights, attending a welding program there in Southwest Wyoming. My father was a welder, his father was a welder. I grew up around welding, but naturally, just like most people, I didn't necessarily want to take all of my advice from my father. I kind of had to hear it from somebody else. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing to go into a school system, learn from some qualified professionals. For example, both of my instructors there were certified welding inspectors, and they welded in the industry for a while as well. It's good to hear it from them, not just your parents, and it's good to hear it from outside folks as well, part-time instructors and so forth coming through that you'll be meeting here also. So I put myself back to school nights, worked welding to code full-time. I did a lot of soldering and fabricating, even as an HVAC tech. Small town, you kind of gotta, be a jack of all trades type person to keep good work and keep the companies happy and so forth. So I did some, industrial maintenance, some welding, and so forth, but not exactly code welding, not pipe welding, a few little bit of stuff here and there. But so that's why I went back and wanted to learn from the professionals. Took me a while to go back through at nights, but I do it after work, go in at night. Same time had a little kid on the way for the latter part of it. started before we had children. But so I understand the struggles sometimes you're dealing with as well. I guess is where I'm going with this. The working all day and coming to school at night. I do understand the struggles, and that's why some of the things that I've done over the last year and a half is to be a little more accommodating for that reason. For example, some of our videos and stuff will be on Blackboard to where you can watch them on the weekends and things like that. But moving on, just so you know, I went welded for a while in industry, started teaching nights. Place opened up, or a position opened up at the college there. They asked me if I'd apply, and I was happy to. So I got a full-time job, realized how much I enjoyed teaching, how much I enjoyed teaching everybody, but especially adults, because they're more interested, I guess. You know, the younger children aren't exactly interested in the code part of it. They're interested in the theory. I like getting into the codes and the technical specs and being able to produce code quality welds. And then we start getting into the metallurgy and things like that. It's very fascinating. So predominantly mid-teenage years is when people start to pique their interest in that. And then, you know, all the way to 50, 60-year-old people I've had come in welding that just want to better themselves, understand more and more in depth codes and things like that. So I actually am a certified welding inspector. I maintain that certification so that as a benefit to the students, well, and to myself as well. So we can provide certification or qualification testing here at COCC if we feel that it's right for you and you're eligible to do so. Come talk to me and we'll talk a little more in depth about that, okay? Moved down to Dan Holland over his 30-plus year career in manufacturing. Dan's owned and operated several businesses. He taught machining and welding courses in Oregon schools. He even took a group of students he taught at Kirk County High School. He took a group of students to Skills USA welding competition right around 08, I think 08 or 09, I believe. And they did very well in the national competition. He's worked for a lot of precision manufacturing companies in Central Oregon, along with owning his own shop. But of course, the economy took a downturn in 08 and kind of forced some different avenues for everybody. And he closed up a shop and went to work at the high school at that point, Kirk County High School. And then most recently, he's been at Nosler as a tool and die maker and R&D and so forth, machining for them, until he started here fall of 2015, so forth. So we got two kind of main leads, okay, and you'll notice this as we're going through there. Dan's background is more on the machining side. That's kind of his more area of expertise, is manual machining, and a lot of the courses that tie into that, quality assurance, GD&T. Mine is more on the welding side. I spent a lot more time as a code welder, and those are my courses, I should say, that I really focus on. So we kind of split in the middle, or split two different paths, but in the middle we both have done industrial maintenance, mechanics, quality assurance, GD&T, and a lot of other things in there that we help bring together. So those courses we kind of mingle amongst each other as well. But for most of your machining courses, you're going to be talking to Dan. Most of your welding courses, you're going to be talking to myself, okay? We're going to be the leads of the instructor of record. You'll see on here a list of courses. The instructor of record is attached at the end of this letter. It's also going to be on your coursework, your Bobcat account, Blackboard, and so forth. Facilitators. As of right now, we have one. There will be several others as we go. We do have 2 part-time instructors as well. Let me scroll down here so we can get to them. Excuse me. As of right now, Mike Perry is our facilitator. He's our instructional lab assistant. You'll notice him. He mainly spends most of his time in the lab. Very nice gentleman. He is a former graduate of the program, and he worked in industry for years in a quality control aspect, warehousing, parts design, R&D, and so forth, before coming here and going through the manufacturing program, picking up and expanding upon his already excellent skill set and continuing on. He joined us this year, fall of 2016. He's an instructional lab assistant. As you can see, any questions you have for him, you'll be seeing him mainly in the shops for the most part, okay? He may not have all the answers for you. He may refer you to Dan or myself, but one of the three of us can usually send you in the right direction, okay? Let's hope. All right, work-study students. We're always looking for work-study students. We've been granted a few positions. Come talk to us or Mike about them. Mike was a work-study, so he can tell you a few of the ins and outs of what he thought and why he liked it so much as well. But one thing we really want to be careful about is if we have a work-study student, we want to make sure that if they're working, we are talking to them, discussing about the things they're doing. But a lot of times our work-study students are also students of our program. So what we don't want to do is if they're in here trying to learn something or going through coursework, we don't want to take up all of their coursework time, their student time, assuming that they're on work-study. So what we ask is that they put their badge on the outside of their shirt while they're doing while they're at work-study, and just ask them. We're going to try to get them to be brutally honest about it. Say, hey, are you on work-study time or are you on student time? If they're on student time, say, well, I'll go find Mike or Chris or Dan or somebody, Jeff or one of the part-time instructors to help out. Try to leave them get their homework done. It's very important to do so. Okay, moving on. All right, MATC enrollment policies. These are, for the most part, basic college policies. Steps for enrollment, MATC. I want you to read through these on your own, okay? I'm not going to be go through a ton of this. I will hit on this real quick, specifically because at the time that I'm shooting this video, it is winter 2017. And like I said, we've had 3 days of the college being shut down of the first week. So right here, you've probably noticed in your COCC email or you've been contacted somehow, students who do not attend or clock in during the first week of the term will be administratively withdrawn by the instructor. The college sent you an email saying that in lieu of or in place of our bad weather, since our conditions have been here, we're going to alter that policy somewhat. They haven't come out with a full set of guidelines, but we're probably going to extend it by 1 week. What we want to do is we want to make sure that everybody's sending us emails saying, hey, I'm interested, I want to be in the program, I'm there. You know, it's just because of this closure, the snow closure and the college closure, that I haven't been able to make it to courses and so forth. So, this being said, you know, there's probably other times we'll see some issues and so forth as well. We are going to alter this a little bit, okay? Refund policy, read through this on your own. You have to drop classes by 5 p.m. second Friday of the term. Student responsibility. When you register for a class, you agree to pay for it. You'll be responsible for all charges in any grade you receive, whether or not you attend. This is college, okay? We try to run our shop like an industry shop because we believe, number one, that's the best way to learn it. That's the way we learned it. And it also sets some expectations for what you're going to see when you're out there. You know, you need to be here, produce good quality work, be respectful, be professional, so forth. You're also responsible for what you can and can't do. It's not your employer's position to hold your hand the entire time. We're not going to do all of it either. We're going to help teach. We're going to help you learn as we're going along. However, we're not going to hold your hand the entire time, okay? So when we say check your emails, check your accounts, ask questions, that's on you. It's not on us, okay? We're going to try to get you there. That's the whole purpose of today. It's try to explain these things, and you're going to have quite a bit of questions as we're going through them, okay? Financial aid academic standing. I will tell you this right now. Any issues you have with financial aid, I am pretty helpless at answering them. Not only that, but they're constantly changing. So I'm not going to be telling you, giving you very accurate financial aid information. I'm going to be following a few policies and telling you, look, you're at your 67% or whatever graduate or completion rate, so now we're going to be in a little bit of alarm for financial aid, and at that point I'm going to say, you need to go to the financial aid office or make an appointment to talk to them. Anything that is really technical, we are always going to send you to the financial aid office because they know their business very well. We don't expect them to come up here and teach you how to machine and weld because they don't know that. So we're going to try to leave them be the financial aid professionals. We're going to try to help a little bit as we can. Then we're going to send you to them for any detailed information. Okay, drop policy. Students are responsible for dropping classes by the established deadlines for credit courses. You have 7 weeks to drop classes, okay? If you come to me without my instruction or without my approval at all, if you come to me at the end in the 8th week and ask for approval to drop this course, I'm more than likely not going to give it to you. If you've had 7 weeks to figure it out, it's on your own, more than likely I will not excuse you from or allow you to drop the class, okay? Very few circumstances will I. Now say there's a medical emergency, you've been hurt, family car wreck or something like that, that's a different situation, come talk to me. But try to communicate the whole time. You know, communicate. Keep talking to us the entire time you're in class. Grading policies, okay? We're welders and machinists. We deal down to 1/1000th of an inch. So, as you can see, this is your grade scale. You also can see there's a few things here. You do not get an A+. 93 to 100%, A. A- is 90 to 92.9. If it's 92.99 or 94, still 0.9. 93 is the borderline, okay? All right. Down here, get into the C. The D range is the one I'm mainly concerned about. 60 to 69.9, 999. Still 69.999. Okay? We go 3 decimal places usually. Passing. It does pass, but it does not count towards your degree. So what does that mean? It means you're going to have to retake the class again so you get at least a C or a better, okay? All right. Incomplete, we're going to talk about incompletes a little bit later. In progress, you might see that as you're looking through your grad tracks, trying to decide what to register for next term, okay? Pass or no pass class may be awarded in certain cases. So for example, orientation here is a pass or no pass class, okay? Withdraw means that you've completed it. This is where we talked about if a student drops a course between the 8th week of the term through the Wednesday before finals week, a student will receive a W on their transcript. Okay, permission, the instructor is required to drop the course after the 7th week. So I tell you, after the 7th week, I won't grant you access, okay? You've had 7 weeks to figure it out. We're the most flexible program on this entire college campus, out of all 4 campuses. If you don't make it in here and you don't communicate with us, it's literally up to you. It's your fault to at least not have some communication with us before then. Again, in very rare circumstances, we'll take case by case, okay? Okay, anyway, moving on. Grading standards, real quick. Portfolio, 10%. This means you have to hand it in at the end of the term. It's kind of worth more than 10% because if we don't have the documentation and the paperwork of your scores, so if I can't see how I graded you on all your welds, then more than likely it's going to be the authentic assessment, which is your welds and your actual lab scores. If I don't know what they are, I can't give you a grade on them. So technically it'd be 60%. Your portfolio is to make sure that all your documentation's there. I've got your correct name, name, number, course, CRN. We'll talk about how you put together your portfolio. You'll see some examples of it as well. Things like that. This needs to require all your sheets, quizzes, written assignments, data sheets, and so forth that are needed to be in there. Okay? Especially like in manufacturing 1, there's quite a few. Blueprint reading, there's some documentation and some printed handouts that I want you to make sure to print out, work through on your own, make sure that they're turned in as well to prove that you went through them. Okay? Anyway, portfolios were 10%. Make sure it's turned in at the end of every term. If we don't have it, we have no way, no documentation saying that you even finished the course. Okay? Some things are on Blackboard, but not everything. The cognitive assessment's worth 40%. Now that's going to be a lot of our written and our book work, things like that. And then our authentic assessment is the our lab or our hands-on skill assessment. Okay? Now there are certain courses within our program. We have 58 total courses. They're not, we usually have between 50 to 58 courses running per term. Okay? Some of our courses do not have hands-on assessments. Some of them are book or theory based, or I shouldn't say book or theory based, but they're a cognitive assessment, a lot of book work, very few or no labs. If there are no labs in your course, then 100% of your score, or the cognitive assessment goes from 40 to a 90%. They're both combined in there in your portfolio, it'd still be worth 10%. Okay? We'll take these courses as they come along and go forth there. You can read through your portfolio. Cognitive assessment measures your ability to comprehend and demonstrate your knowledge of the course content. Again, these are usually takes the forms of quizzes, midterms, written exercises, drawings, and other documents that you include in your portfolio for grading. Not all of our courses have midterms and finals. Some of them do not. Some of them do, some of them do not. You have to look at each individual course and decide for yourself. If you're always confused, make sure you ask an instructor, either Dan Holland or myself. Okay? Authentic assessment. Again, these are your hands-on, your ability to take the knowledge that you learned from cognitive assessments and from verbal lectures and lab lectures. We do a lot of demonstration on the shop floor. Okay? Take the knowledge you've gained from those lectures and everything else and be able to turn them into a project or a lab project, hands-on assessment. You're going to look at it and see that it's your skills assessment on all of your final grade sheets. Okay? And again, scoring is per the MATC overall grade scale, percentage representing the instructor's determination of the student's overall understanding of the assignment. The final, again, not every course has a final. If it doesn't, then you're just graded evenly. All right, grade submission, incomplete grade options. A few things, especially the stuff that's highlighted here in yellow. Okay? Students must complete coursework by the end of each term. Grades are to be posted at the end of each term based on completed coursework. In highlighted areas, in limited circumstances, an incomplete may be assigned if a student has completed approximately 75% of the course requirements. But for reasons acceptable to the instructor, the student is unable to complete the remaining requirements during the term. This is a good example of this would be medical emergency, okay? Family emergencies, things like that. What is not an acceptable situation is that you just got busy and you put it off. And so now you come in the 7th week and you want to get started. Well, that's not acceptable. That's not the way it is. We're not going to grant you an incomplete either. Okay?